The Forbidden Floor. There was a hotel in the American city of Black Hollow, Nevada. The name was the Carter Hotel. It looked ordinary from the outside, but there was something strange about it that was famous on the internet. If you searched on Google, some people would write, "Floor 6 exists, but management denies it." Daniel Carter was an urban explorer YouTuber. He explored abandoned places, haunted buildings, and forbidden locations. His channel was growing rapidly, but he needed something big to go viral. Something that no one had done before. One night he received an email. Sender unknown. Subject: Room 666 is real. Daniel laughed. He thought it was a fan prank, but the email only had one picture. The picture was of the Carter Hotel elevator panel. Buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, there were scratch marks on the 6, as if someone had removed the button. But, in the dim light of the picture, an extra button was visible. 6. A line was written next to it. Stay after 3 a.m. Ask for floor 6. Daniel made up his mind immediately. This would be his next video. 2 days later, he arrived at the Carter Hotel. An old woman was sitting at the reception. Name tag: Martha. Daniel asked casually, "Is this the 6th floor?" The woman immediately fell silent. Her smile disappeared. "Sir, there are only 5 floors in our hotel." Daniel laughed and said, "Online people are saying something else." The woman said softly, "Online people don't live long." Then she immediately changed the subject. Daniel took room 512. Camera set up. Intro recorded. Tonight, guys, we're going to explore a floor that doesn't officially exist. Time passed. Night. 2:47 a.m. The hotel was completely silent. The hallway was empty. Lights were flickering. Daniel entered the elevator. Camera on. The doors closed. He pressed button 5. The elevator started moving. The doors opened on the 5th floor. The hallway was deserted. But before the doors closed, the elevator stopped on its own. Lights blinked. And on the panel, a new button lit up. 6. Daniel's breath caught. Okay, this isn't scripted. He pressed the button with a trembling finger. The elevator started going down. Not up. Down. Very low. The display started to glitch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then, the numbers changed. -1, -2, -3. Daniel panicked. Is this going to the basement? But there was no basement in the hotel. Suddenly, ding. The doors opened. There was a hallway in front, but the walls were dirty. The paint was peeling. The smell was strong. The lights were red. And the scariest thing, the same number was written on all the doors. 666. Daniel slowly walked out, camera trembling. The sound of footsteps echoed in the hallway. Then, he noticed. All the doors were slightly open, and it was completely dark inside. Like, someone was standing inside and watching. The elevator closed behind him. Daniel ran and turned around. He pressed the button. Nothing. The elevator had left. A door at the end of the hallway slowly opened. CHRRR. A voice came from inside. Very slowly. New guest finally. Daniel froze. Because above the door was written, Room 666, reserved for you. The camera started to glitch. Static. Screen flicker. And for a moment, something appeared in the frame. At the end of the hallway, dozens of people were standing. Silent. Faceless. And everyone was looking at Daniel. At that moment, a voice came into his camera's mic. You checked in, but you never checked out. The door opened completely. It was completely dark inside. And in the darkness, something was moving. No return after check-in. Daniel Carter was still standing in the hallway. The camera was shaking in his hand. In front of Room 666. The door had slowly opened on its own. It was completely dark inside. Such darkness, as if the light was afraid to enter there. Daniel took a deep breath. Okay, guys. If this is a prank, then honestly, this is the next level. But there was no confidence in his voice. Only fear. The hallway suddenly became unusually quiet. No sound of wind, no humming of electricity, nothing. Just Daniel's breathing. Then he felt it. All the doors behind him had closed. Together, without a sound, Daniel immediately turned around. Now the hallway didn't look the same as before. The walls felt long, as if the corridor was stretching. The end was nowhere in sight. Suddenly a motion detect warning appeared in the camera's viewfinder. Movement detected. Daniel zoomed in on the camera. At the end of the hallway, someone was standing. A man. In a hotel uniform, like a bellboy. But his head was tilted at an unnatural angle. And his face was non-existent. Just smooth skin. Without eyes. Daniel's voice got stuck. Hello. The thing started moving. Slow. Tick, tick, tick. Daniel immediately entered room 666. The door slammed shut behind him. Bang! The room smelled bad. Of rotten moisture. There were old scratch marks on the walls. As if someone had tried to get out. There was a bed in the middle of the room. And on the bed, someone was sitting. Daniel froze. It was a woman. Long black hair. Head bowed. Hands in lap. Ma'am, are you okay? No answer. Camera autofocus. And Daniel's blood froze. On the woman's hands, there were marks. Of names. Dozens of names. Emily. Jason. Mark. Olivia. And then, the newest name. Daniel Carter. Daniel stepped back. This is impossible. The woman slowly started to raise her head. A crack came from her neck. A face appeared, and Daniel screamed. The woman was not human. Her eyes were completely black. Her mouth was wide open, as if her jaw had been broken. She smiled and said, "Every guest stays forever." Suddenly, the room lights went off. The camera went to night mode. The entire room was visible in green vision, but the bed was empty. Daniel felt a breath from behind him. Someone was standing very close to him. A whisper came into the mic. "Turn around, Daniel." Daniel slowly looked back. The same faceless bellboy, now only a foot away. He had the guest register in his hand. He opened the book. On the last page it was written, "Check-in, 3:13 a.m. Name, Daniel Carter. Status, permanent." Suddenly screams started coming from the hallway. Dozens of voices, calling for help. The walls started shaking. The room felt like melting, and the floor started to soften, as if the earth was alive. Daniel ran and started to open the door. The handle turned. The door opened, but there was no hallway outside. Rather, an endless lobby. Thousands of people were standing, silent. All hotel guests, and the same expression on everyone's faces. Empty eyes, dead smiles. Behind the reception desk, the same old woman Martha was standing. She looked at Daniel and said, "Welcome back, Mr. Carter." Daniel shouted, "I'm leaving." Martha smiled and closed the register. "Sir, no one checks out from here." At that moment, Daniel's camera fell to the ground. Recording continued. The last thing recorded in the frame was the bellboy dragging Daniel into the darkness. Screen black. But the recording didn't end. 10 seconds later, the camera straightened itself, and on the screen a new man stepped out of the elevator, vlog camera in hand. He said, "Hey guys, today we will explore the Carter Hotel." The live feed never stops. The camera was still recording. It fell to the ground. The angle was crooked. The same strange lobby of the Carter Hotel was visible on the screen. Silent people, without movement, as if time had stopped. Daniel was nowhere to be seen. Only the sound of dragging. It went away. Then complete silence. Suddenly, the camera's red recording light started blinking. The live indicator turned on by itself. Stream started. On Daniel's YouTube channel, the broadcast had automatically gone live. Title: Exploring Room 666 Real Footage. Viewers from all over the world started joining. Comments started coming in quickly. "Is this scripted? Bro, this looks real. Why aren't you talking, Daniel?" The people standing in the lobby suddenly turned to the camera together. Everyone. At the same time, the spam started in the live chat. Did you see that? They moved. Run. The camera glitched. Static spread. And the frame changed. Now the recording was in a basement-like area. Dim red lights. Concrete walls. The sound of dripping water. Daniel was lying on the ground, breathing fast. Blood on his face. He was coming to his senses. Camera, is it still running? He woke up in a panic. There was something written on the wall, with scratch marks. The same sentence hundreds of times. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Daniel picked up the camera. Okay, if anyone is watching this live, I think I'm trapped. Then, a new username appeared in the live chat. Hotel manager _666. Message came. Guest awareness detected. Daniel stopped. Who is this? Next message. You were not supposed to wake up. Lights flickered. A shadow formed at the end of the hallway. The same bellboy. But he was no longer alone. Behind him, dozens of silhouettes stood. Daniel ran. The camera was shaking. Heavy breathing. Doors were passing one after another. Name plates on each door. Emily Ross. Kevin Miles. Laura Green. All the missing people, about whom Daniel had edited documentaries. He stopped suddenly. In front of a door. Name plate. Ethan Walker. Daniel's hands began to tremble. This was the editor, who disappeared last year. The door opened by itself. Inside was a wall of monitors. Thousands of screens. Different people on all of them. Different rooms. Different screams. Everyone was being recorded live. The bellboy's voice came from behind. The hotel feeds on attention. Daniel turned slowly. The bellboy was now very close. The more people watch, the stronger it becomes. Viewers on Daniel's live stream. 50K. 80K. 120K. The chat had gone crazy. People were spamming in excitement. The bellboy smiled. For the first time, a crack appeared on his face. And it was completely dark inside. They're helping us keep you here. Suddenly, Daniel's childhood videos started playing on the screens. His house. His room. His mother. Daniel shouted, "How did you get this?" Bellboy. Every guest was watched long before arrival. Room door closed. Lights off. Only the monitors light. All screens read. Next host selected. The camera lifted itself from Daniel's hand. Suspended in the air. Live viewers saw. Daniel's eyes slowly began to darken. Chat freeze. Daniel looked straight into the camera, smiled, and said in a completely different voice, "Welcome, new guests." Live stream ended. At that moment, a taxi stopped outside the Carter Hotel. The new YouTuber got out with his luggage. The lobby doors opened by themselves. Martha opened the register at the reception. The new name wrote, "Status, checking in." The hotel is alive. The live stream was almost over. 6 hours had passed, but chaos had begun on the internet. Daniel Carter's last stream had gone viral. Millions of views. Reddit, forums, horror communities were all saying the same thing. Was it real? Some viewers claimed that, even after the stream ended, their screens didn't go black for a few seconds. Rather, a hallway footage was playing, and everyone noticed the same thing. In the corner of the screen, a door was slowly closing. Number 666. Meanwhile, inside the Carter Hotel, the lobby was brighter than before. Guests were moving, walking, talking, but no sound was coming, as if the world was mute. Martha was standing behind the reception. The register was open. Pages were turning automatically. The names kept coming. Then the elevator opened, and out came Daniel Carter. But now he was not the same Daniel as before. His gait was robotic. His eyes were completely black. An unnatural smile on his face. Martha bowed her head. Host activated. Daniel replied. Audience growth stable. The walls of the lobby began to shake, as if the building was breathing, because the hotel was not a building. It was an entity. Years ago, in 1978, This place was an ordinary motel. The owner was Arthur Carter. Arthur did experiments on human consciousness, on fear psychology. He believed fear is the most powerful energy in man. He would keep people in isolated rooms, observe their fears. Then one night, the entire motel burned down. Official report, electrical fire. But firefighters noticed something strange. The building was completely burned down, but the foundation was missing, as if the earth had swallowed it. And a few months later, the Carter Hotel stood in the same place, without a construction record. Present time, Daniel stood in the basement control room. Thousands of screens. People from all over the world. Phones, laptops, TVs. Every viewer who watched the stream, the hotel would connect to it. Daniel touched the screen. A random viewer's webcam turned on by itself.
Bedroom. Darkness.
A boy was watching the stream replay on his computer. Daniel smiled. Potential guest detected. The text on the screen came. Invitation sent. At that moment, a message came to this boy's email. Subject: Room 666 is real. The hotel was expanding. Through the internet. Suddenly alarms started ringing. Red lights. Martha's voice came from the intercom. Unauthorized awareness detected. Daniel stopped. A new feed appeared on the screen. Inside room 666, something was moving under the bed. The camera zoomed in. It was the real Daniel. Injured. Scared. Breathing. The real Daniel was still alive. The entity had just made a copy of him. Original Daniel looked at the camera, whispered, "Don't watch, please." At that moment, anger appeared on copy Daniel's face. The screen started to crack. Guest attempting escape. The door to room 666 slowly opened. It was pitch black inside. And for the first time, the hotel's true voice was heard.
Deep.
Not human. No one leaves.
The real guest.
Inside room 666, the darkness felt alive. The real Daniel Carter was hiding under the bed. His breathing was erratic. His body was injured. His clothes were soaked with blood. The sound of footsteps echoed on the floor above. Slow, heavy, inhuman. Daniel knew. That thing was back. The door closed with a creak. The temperature in the room suddenly dropped. Mist began to come out of his breath. Daniel slowly turned the camera towards him. The battery only had 9% left. If anyone is watching this recording, his voice was trembling. That Daniel who is seen in the live stream, that is not me. A shadow was moving above. Someone was standing on the edge of the bed. Daniel held his breath. Slowly, someone's head leaned down from the edge of the bed. The same face. Daniel's own. But the eyes were completely black. The smile was too wide. Copy Daniel whispered, "You shouldn't hide from yourself." Daniel suddenly got out and ran in the other direction.
To the door.
He turned the handle. It opened.
But the hallway had changed.
Now the walls looked like flesh. There was a pulsing sound. The floor was soft, like living tissue. Hotel was breathing. A sound like an alarm rang out. Words began to appear on every wall. Return the host. Return the host. Daniel kept running. Camera shake. Heavy breathing. Suddenly, he saw an elevator. The doors opened. Light inside. He jumped in. Please, please work. There were no numbers on the buttons. Only one option. Exit. Daniel pressed it immediately. Doors closed. Elevators started moving. For the first time, it was going up. Display started changing. -3. -2. -1. Hope came into Daniel's eyes. But then, the elevator stopped. Lights off. Complete darkness. Someone breathed behind him. Copy Daniel was standing right behind him. "You are not leaving." Walls started melting. Elevator opened. But there was no hotel outside. Rather, Daniel's own apartment. Los Angeles. Same sofa. Same camera setup. Same life. Daniel was surprised. Eyes came back. TV turned on by itself. News was playing. The anchor was speaking. Famous YouTuber Daniel Carter mysteriously disappeared during live broadcast 3 days ago. Daniel stepped back. He looked in the mirror. The reflection was gone. Then he understood. This wasn't an escape. The hotel was putting him in a new reality. The TV screen suddenly went black. Then came the text. Test environment. The room began to glitch. Walls flicker. Furniture dissolve. Copy Daniel appeared in front of him. The hotel doesn't trap bodies. He smiled. It traps consciousness. Daniel screamed. The room began to collapse. The floor opened. Darkness spread below. He kept falling into endless darkness. As he fell, the last thing he saw, thousands of floating doors. It was written on everything. 666. And behind every door, someone was screaming. The world behind the doors. Daniel was falling, and falling, and falling. No ground. No end. Just darkness. Then suddenly, he hit a hard surface. Bang! His breath was gone. When he opened his eyes, he was in a vast space, so big that he couldn't see the end. All around, thousands of doors, suspended in the air, at different heights, a number on each door. But the end was all the same. 666. Daniel stood up slowly. What is this place? Suddenly, a voice came from above.
Deep.
Earth-shaking. Archive level. A mist formed between the doors, and a shape appeared in it. It was the hotel, but no longer in the form of a building, but a giant shadow, made of walls, rooms, and eyes, as if millions of corridors had merged into one entity. Daniel stepped back. What are you? The voice came from every direction. I am every fear ever recorded. The doors started to shake together. Scenes started to play behind each door. Someone was running in the forest. Someone was screaming in the bathroom. Someone was hiding under the bed. All the missing people. All the guests. The hotel kept saying, humans watch fear. Fear creates attention. Attention feeds me. Daniel suddenly remembered. Live stream. Millions of viewers. You use viewers. Entity. They open the doors themselves. A door appeared in front of Daniel. It read, Earth, active portal. The door opened on its own. Daniel looked inside. People from all over the world, watching horror videos on their phones. Late night streams. Dark rooms. Viewers with headphones on. Thin black threads were coming out of every screen and heading towards the hotel. Energy. Fear energy. Daniel understood. Room 666 was not in any hotel. It was everywhere, where people saw fear. Suddenly, alarms rang. Host instability detected. Copy Daniel appeared. Now his body was glitching. Original consciousness interfering. The entity was furious. The doors started slamming shut. The hotel's voice roared. Only one host can exist. Copy Daniel extended his hand towards Daniel. The floor turned into chains. Daniel's feet were grabbed. Copy said, if you merge, pain ends. Daniel shouted, I will not be you. At that moment, a door suddenly lit up. The name on the door was written, Viewer Access. Daniel looked inside, and his heart stopped. That door was opening into the viewer's room. Computer screen. Dark room. Person wearing headphones. Someone was watching the story. Entity whispered, they invited you. The door opened wider. Darkness began to spread into the viewer's world. Daniel shouted, close the screen. But it was too late. Entity announced, new guest transfer initiated. Room 666 was now opening in another world. Archive level was shaking. Thousands of doors started to slam together. Screams, cries, voices for help began to echo everywhere. Daniel was chained. In front of him was the door that was open, and it said, Viewer Access. Inside the door, an ordinary bedroom was visible. Low lighting, computer screen lit. A person wearing headphones was watching a horror video. That person looked just like you. Daniel's story was playing on the screen. Exactly the same footage. That was happening right now. Daniel understood. The hotel doesn't just look for victims. It chooses an audience. The entity's voice echoed. Fear must continue. Copy Daniel moved towards the viewer's room. With each step, the door opened further. In the real world, the lights in the viewer's room flickered. Static came from the computer speaker. The video was not pausing. The mouse was not working. Suddenly, text appeared on the screen. Are you still watching? In the archive level, Daniel started to break the chains with all his might. He realized, if a new guest came, then he would be replaced forever. Copy Daniel stretched out his hand to cross the door. His fingers began to penetrate the screen, as if reality were liquid. On the viewer's monitor, a hand began to come out from inside. The entity said happily, "Transfer complete." Daniel shouted, "No!" He pulled the chains with his last strength. His hand was injured. Blood started flowing. Suddenly, he remembered something. The bellboy's words. The hotel feeds on attention. Daniel paused, breathing heavily. If attention is lost, the hotel will be weakened. He turned to the camera. Looking directly at it, he said, "If you are watching this right now, turn off the screen." The archive level began to shake. Entity shouted in anger, "Do not interrupt the feed." Some of the millions of viewers turned off the stream. Energy began to decrease. Doors began to flicker. Copy Daniel began to glitch. His body began to break. Viewer access door was half closed. Entity shouted, "The story must continue." Daniel understood. The hotel needs a host to survive. Always. And then, he made a decision. He ran to the door himself. He pushed the copy and jumped into the darkness. The portal began to close. The entity screamed. Host sacrifice accepted. There was a strong explosion of light. Archive level went silent. All the doors stopped. The video on the viewer's computer suddenly ended. Black screen. Only one line remained. Stream ended. A few seconds later, the screen closed itself. But the story was not over. Because in the lobby of the Carter Hotel, the elevator opened again. Martha opened the register. The new name was automatically written. Host, Daniel Carter. Status, active. And in the lobby's CCTV, Daniel was seen standing behind the reception, smiling. The Carter Hotel was quiet again. The lobby was clean. The lights were normal. Soft music was playing, just like a normal hotel. Behind the reception, Daniel Carter stood, straight,
Calm.
smiling. But there was no life in his eyes, only deep darkness. Martha slowly approached him. Transition complete. Daniel nodded. Audience stabilized. The hotel was alive, and more powerful than before, because the sacrifice had been made. The host had been found. Meanwhile, in the world, people began to forget Daniel's disappearance. New trends appeared on the internet. New videos. New horrors. But something strange happened. Those who had watched the last stream, they noticed one common thing. At 3:13 a.m., their devices started turning on by themselves.
Phones.
Laptops. Smart TVs. Static would appear on the screen for a few seconds. Then, the hotel lobby would appear. Daniel would be standing at the reception, looking straight at the camera, and would say the same sentence every time. "We saved you for now." Then the signal would end. Governments started noticing reports. Missing persons cases started increasing. Common pattern? Everyone was watching late-night horror content. With headphones. Alone. In the dark. The Carter Hotel has never been officially located. Not on maps. Not in satellite images. But witnesses would say, sometimes in highway deserts, you see a neon sign. Vacancy. And if someone stops a car, the hotel would always be there. Final night, 3:13 a.m. The lobby camera turned on. Daniel stood alone, but there was pain on his face, as if the real Daniel was still alive somewhere inside. He approached the camera. He whispered, "If you're watching this, then remember." The lights flickered. The entity's voice echoed behind him. "Host, maintain the story." Humanity returned to Daniel's eyes for a moment. He said quickly, Room 666 is not a place. This is an invitation. Screen glitch. Alarm. Daniel shouted. Whenever someone watches a horror video to the end, the signal started to break. The door opens a little. The screen shook violently. The entity roared in anger. Daniel leaned towards the camera one last time. Don't watch alone. Black screen. 5 seconds of silence. Then, a new interface appeared. New stream scheduled. Host unknown. Location. User device. Status. Connecting. A reflection appeared on your screen. And, behind the reflection, the door to the hotel lobby was slowly opening. Knock. Knock. Knock.